Now, South Africa is now on level 4 of the coronavirus lockdown. And one of the restrictions that have been lifted is that on exercise. And we just checking in with our reporters across the country to see what's actually happening. And for this particular crossing, we're going to start in Mpumalanga. And in Mbombela is where Tumelo Machogo is. So let's find out what's happening there this morning. Tumelo, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sakina. It's been a hive of activities here in Mbombela. People going in and out of their house, going and running, and some of them actually going out and cycling. We are actually on this road, which is busy and is always busy with cyclists coming out and cycling early in the morning. We're going to try and speak to some of them while they're cycling. You were up this morning. Just talk to us about how do you feel about finally you guys are out and you guys are going to be exercising outside?
First of all, I'd like to thank you very much. This is very exciting for us because we've been indoors for the past 21 days plus 7 days that were added on, and then now I think it's going to help us to get physically back to traction again.
Oh, fantastic. And how do you feel about that now you guys are outside? What was like that to actually be outside and to actually cycle with a mask on? Because some people have been saying that it's very difficult to breathe with a mask on.
It is very difficult to breathe because, you know, when it gets difficult, you need more air in. So this thing is actually blocking us, but there's nothing we can do. We just have to comply with the rules.
Oh, fantastic. Where are you going, and are you in your radius of your community, and are you live around this area, and how long have you been on the road?
We've been up since 7 in the morning, and then we're about in our radius of this community, and we're just trying to keep our social distancing amongst ourselves.
Oh, fantastic. Let's try and speak to more of them actually. Thank you so much, Ntate. Enjoy your cycle today.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to try and speak to more of them actually. We're going to just stop. This one is coming from this side. Just stop for us so that we can speak to you quickly. Talk to me about how do you feel about being finally out and finally be out on the road?
It actually feels good just to be out on the scenery and actually see the roads. This is way better than doing it at home.
You've been exercising at home, and obviously people have been eating at home, but what is like to be actually out in the fresh air and actually like try and be healthy and shed some weight that you have actually picked up while we were sitting at home eating every day?
So it's time to actually shed it all off. I think a lot of us picked up weight while we were just sitting at home, but now that we're out on the scenery and looking at the green grass and everything, it actually feels good.
Talk to me about like the mask, because we all have to wear masks, especially when you go outside. How does that prevent you from breathing? Because we understand a lot of people have been complaining about it, because you have to protect yourself from other people. And then how do you feel about wearing a mask and going out there to exercise?
Well, the first thing is just to be safe. So in as much as it's hard to breathe through this thing, especially with heavy breathing while you're on the road, but we just need to be safe, and we'll just make it happen. So we'll try.
Fantastic. And what distance have you done so far? I see that you're wearing an Apple Watch. What distance have you done so far?
So we're still on 5 kilometers. That's why we're turning back now. So we're just maximizing on the 5. Then you're just turning back home right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Well, this road is actually quite busy with cyclists. More cyclists are coming from a different area. They're also trying to go out there to actually try and exercise and be in their area. Most of these cyclists say that they live around this area. And also we've seen workers here. They're working, and we've seen people running on the street, which is actually quite an amazing to see people outside, because you know we've been going out every day. We've not been seeing a lot of people actually are running on the street, and we have not seen any people actually on the street. So it's actually quite exciting even for us to see people out on the road and out here exercising, trying to be actually healthy and shed some weight that they might have picked up during this time while everyone was sitting at home and eating. Sakina?
Thank you so much, Tumelo Machogo in Mbombela there in Mpumalanga. And interesting to note there during that particular crossing that everybody was wearing masks except for the one guy that I saw, because those are part of the regulations now. Everybody who goes out starting today has to wear a mask. But also it's going to be interesting to see how all of these regulations are going to be policed as well, because it was said no group activity. So does that cycling of a club constitute group activity? I don't know. But let's go to Port Elizabeth now. Nqonji is there, and let's find out what the latest is from Anda. And let's just see if we can get you up again there for the latest from the Port Elizabeth beachfront. Okay, we don't seem to be able to establish that connection with Nqonji there in Port Elizabeth. So we're going to take a quick break here on Morning Live, and then we'll come back and see what's happening and people taking up this opportunity to get out and exercise. All right, before we go to that break, let's try Anda one more time. Anda, can you hear me now?
Well, a very good morning to you. It is indeed a bright day, a beautiful day in Port Elizabeth. The sky is clear, and a number of people have come out. It is like a comrades marathon. A number of people are jogging along the beachfront, with many of them cycling and jogging and having brought along their pets or their fur babies. We have seen a number of people from as early as 6 o'clock in this morning who have said that they couldn't sleep last night, waiting anxiously to get here or to get to this day. With one of the people we spoke to actually mentioning that you never realize the freedom you have until it's taken away from you. But most of them are excited about today. Most of them saying they are overwhelmed, having spent Freedom's Day at home, not being able to get out of their houses apart from getting groceries. But they say that from today onwards, things will shift for the better, or they will change for the better. But let me speak to a couple of residents who will just be getting home in no time, as the curfew of 9 o'clock at time, where they expected to be at home, is drawing closer. A very good morning to you, ma'am. You were just telling us not so long ago that you are happy to be at the beach. You've gotten back your freedom. How do you feel?
Oh no, we completely ecstatic. Being a nation that loves to be outdoors and running and always outside. Me myself, I'm a sport enthusiast, always being outdoors, and just being tucked away for a month. It was like really an experience for me. And it's a lot of self-discipline. But today it's just awesome. We have amazing weather. It's just amazing to be out.
Thank you so much. And sir, have you been able to keep fit during the lockdown? Were you able to exercise from home or just run around?
Yeah, I think unfortunately we stay in an apartment building, so we don't really have access to a back garden that we can run around in or do those kind of exercise. We don't have a treadmill or bicycles, so it's mainly been body weight exercises and stretches. So today's been a godsend to be able to get out and get a bit of stress relief for the last 6 weeks. I think I'd just like to advocate for the surfing fraternity as well as the paddling fraternity. It's a shame that they seem to be sidelined right now when we've got hundreds of people moving up and down the beach, and these are individual sportsmen that are really low risk to the population in general. So I think the government really has an opportunity here to look at that and maybe include another group or another sort of group of sportsmen that will really benefit from this. Yeah, thanks.
But how does it feel to finally be out here with all the other people? I can imagine how silent this place has been. It must be exciting to see quite a number of people having come out and just walking around, some jogging and some cycling.
Yeah, no, I mean it's like the previous lady was saying. Pisa is a very active city. Most of the people around here live here and like to live here because of the sports fraternity and the exercise. So it's been an amazing change just to see big groups of people out. I think most part everyone's obeying the rules. People have got their masks out and keeping their distances. So I think there's the government has certainly done a good thing for everybody's health and minds, and healthy body, healthy mind. So I think as long as people can exercise, it's going to be good for everybody.
Wonderful. Let's just hear from the lady right next to me how she feels. Have you been able to keep fit or exercise from your home during the lockdown before you were allowed to come out?
I certainly have. I've been on the internet, and there were one or two exercises. It's been perfect, and I do have a garden, so I've been able to walk around the garden, do a lot of gardening, but I have missed it. I have missed people and the social interaction.
Are you within the 5 kilometer radius that you're expected to be in?
Yes, I am. Within walking distance, it's probably a 10-minute walk from home.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Those are just a couple of residents that we have spoken to, or that we just spoke to, saying that they are really excited to be out here, with one gentleman saying that he was not really able to go out and exercise as he stays in quite a small yard and he doesn't really have a back garden to exercise, and saying that he is excited to be out here today and enjoying his freedom. But it's just a question of time before everyone is expected to go back home according to the regulations, and it will be exciting to see after 9 o'clock or at 9 o'clock how empty will this beachfront be, or if the residents will be able to adhere to that regulation and they will be able to go back to their homes, as most of them, especially those who have spoken to, have mentioned that they are within a 5 kilometer or the 5 kilometer radius, and they are just close by home, so it should not be a problem to just quickly run across the yard, with some of the people that we just spoke to right now actually being in a hurry and couldn't wait to finish speaking to us so that they can get going and run home, saying that they are scared of being arrested. They have seen quite a number of people getting arrested in front of them, and they wouldn't like for that to happen. But right now, from myself and Nqonji and colleague Bulelani Scott, it's back to you in studio.
Well, thank you so much, Anda. And let's go back to Cape Town now, where Craig Marais is, Sea Point Promenade to be exact. And Craig, it's about just over 30 minutes left before people need to get back into their homes, at least to adhere to lockdown restrictions. So what's the latest from your side, Craig? Well, our apologies. We seem to have lost our sound link there to Craig Marais in Sea Point. But of course, we'll bring you more about that. And of course, Valen, we're hoping is also she's taken a jog. Hopefully she's out and about. So we'll bring you more about what people are doing. So